What's going on, people? It's your boy the Black Glove, and today is July 23rd, a day which will live in infamy. Yes, today is the day where everybody in the entire sniping community is at David Vonderhaar's throats. At least 4 members of Optic have tweeted out how they're done with Call of Duty. They quit, multiplayer is done, they've killed the best weapon in the game. Ah, rage, rage, rage. Yeah, look. It's not that serious, people. It's really not that serious. I'm playing right now. This is the gameplay I got like 2 minutes ago. It's literally 10 in the morning of the patch, July 23rd. And this weapon is still usable. The biggest issue people have, and I saw this in a tweet that Vonderhaar retweeted out instantly after he tweeted about the patch. He retweeted a tweet from some kid that was like 12 years old, maybe 11. He was young. And he said, what about clips? You know, what about Optic and Phase? What about these guys trying to get clips? And look, you guys know my position on snipers, but I do understand the fun factor in playing with them. But here's the thing, the changes are not that significant that are made here. You know, I don't understand where the upset is in the community of snipers. I don't understand why you're so upset. That's not the only weapon that got nerfed. The AN-94 also got nerfed. The damage is still here for this weapon. It is still a one-shot death machine. As you can see in this game, I tear people up, alright? That's how it is. It's a death machine. It kills. It does what it's supposed to do. It kills from long range. It does it. The difference here is the firing rate. Well, why are you complaining about the firing rate? So it takes a little bit longer to get that second shot off. This is not a machine gun. It's not an assault rifle. It is a bolt-action sniper rifle, alright? The idea is, you gotta kill people with that first shot. Now the complaints are coming from people who want to get clips. They want to be able to get like 3-4 shots off with a shot per second. The increase isn't that drastic. You know, this is the thing. The fire time, which is what changed. Alright, I can understand. The firing time was 0.2 seconds, as Vonderhaar put it. It's now 0.4 seconds. The rechamber time was 1 second. It's now 1.1 seconds. These are literally fractions of a second of difference. And I know to people in the sniping community who are used to the feel of a weapon, especially one like this, that probably feels significant at first. But the weapon is still usable. Trust and believe. If you don't believe me, go out there and play with it like I did here. Alright? You can go out there and get your kills. You know, you could still get clips with this. It's not that serious. It's really not. You know, I saw Vonderhaar in a conversation with Redneck. You know, Redneck is an awesome dude. I really respect him and his love for the game and the community itself. But this is the first time I gotta say Vonderhaar actually said something that made sense. You know, Redneck was tweeting about how when you make weapons bad, when you constantly nerf usable weapons and make them unusable, it's not fun. And the fun factor is the most important part in the game. I agree. The fun factor is the most important part in the game. But Vonderhaar's response was, people say there's no fun factor in lobbies filled with snipers. An entire lobby filled with snipers. That's also true, and that's the biggest point. You know, people were starting to get upset with the fact that there'd be all these sniper lobbies. You know, look at videos from Fisticuffs. He was putting out videos constantly complaining about the lobbies that are filled with snipers. You know, you can't go on certain maps because you'll get literally 5 or 6 snipers with their tac insertions, and if the snipers are actually decent at what they do, they can hold down spots in domination. You know, they can actually hold down the areas. They've got tac insertions. They're pretty much unbeatable there like that, you know? But that's just how it is. You know, the game, it's all about balance when it comes to the development of this game. Clearly. You know, all these nerfs and buffs, the idea is to balance it out so everybody can have something they can enjoy, and one thing isn't overpowering another. My biggest complaint with the sniper rifles is that they didn't have enough, you know, there's not enough of a trade-off in using it. That trade-off still isn't there, in my opinion. You know, I still don't really flinch that bad when I'm shot and I'm shooting at somebody. You know, the scope in time isn't bad on this weapon. It's still usable. It's very usable. It's still a death machine. I don't understand the complaints. And that's my only gripe here is this nerf is not that big of a nerf. It's not that big of a deal. You guys will get over yourselves. Alright? As somebody who's used a majority of weapons in the game, including the snipers and the LMGs, and try to use everything I can, I've dealt with plenty of nerfs and buffs. Alright? The SMGs got nerfs and buffs. Everything in the game has had nerfs and buffs so far. So, you know, you have to kind of get used to that. You know, the games are ever evolving and ever changing. It's just a shame that this happened a little bit too late. You know, people got used to the weapon being how it is, and now they're upset about it. But look, the game isn't being developed for clips. It's being developed for playability. They want people to stay in this game and have fun. And if a majority of people are out there getting upset because there are groups of people who want to get their tac insertion snipers, that get those classes set up and get clips and not play to win and not play the objective or try anything outside of montage clips and video making, it's an issue. You know, it's an issue when the community is divided like that. You know, the game itself doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be this unbalanced. It could be balanced, but hey, if only they had an open beta, right? Then everybody could be happy when the game's released. Not like that's gonna happen though. It's been your boy the Black Glove. That's my rant on this whole sniper issue. Hope you enjoyed this video. Catch me later, people. I'm out. Peace.